All right, everybody, welcome to a little bit of prepping with for D&D using Fantasy Grounds Unity. Starting off with a quote. I can be heard, so that's nice. Starting off with a quote. I can be heard, so that's nice. Alrighty, so our group has been. I'm doing Out of the Abyss, and that's what we're working on today. I'm trying to keep an eye on a chat while this is going on. Let me change the UI so you guys can see a little better. I run Out of the Abyss quite a bit different than anybody else. And so what I just did there is I hit slash the word scale, SCALE, UI, mashed together, scale UI, space, and you can go from 50 to 100 to 200. This is 110. I like that for streaming because it makes it to where people can read it enough. If you're on your phone, then it doesn't matter what I put it at, you probably won't be able to read it. I'm going to go ahead and get rid of the combat tracker for now because for what we're doing today, we don't need a combat tracker. So you'll see, I know I lost my bottom of my chat because I made the scale so big. So we're going to right click on this, go to window unlock position, right click on it again now that it's unlocked, and go to reset. Boink, there you go, it puts it back where you can see the bottom now. All right, so the way I do Out of the Abyss is they start on a certain day. Sparkles Mandy, hey, Ace, Mandy, got a new command. So and Zinlu, both in the house, awesome. So both of you, I have a new command. Type in either exclamation point class or exclamation point mood. They both do the same thing. We'll find out what you guys are feeling like today. Mandy is a 31% lawful good barbarian today. There you go. Not bad, not bad. We won't point out the fact that that means that she's 69% evil. We'll just brush that under the rug there. But appreciate you stopping by. Zenu is a 72% evil barbarian. Boy, you guys, two bad MFers. Two bad barbarians running around today. Quite appropriate for today. I embrace it, Zenu said. So if you guys don't know each other, I would definitely suggest you take a look at each other's streams. Zinlu is a amazing streamer who does lots of different games, things that I'm not usually into, but his delivery and just his vibe and the way he talks to his chat is just amazing. So definitely check him out. Sparkles Mandy is. Why isn't that working? What? Oh, there it is. Holy snikes, that took a long time for for a while. But Sparkles Mandy does live play D&D. Lots of different groups though, so that's cool. It changes up who you're looking at different times. But she's always the consistent one. She's also on her way to trying to get partner, so definitely check her out. Again, it's a lot of fun. Let's see if it'll be a little bit faster that time. Isn't it? Nope, it's taking its sweet time today. Awesome, look at that. See? Making friends, spreading the love. So yeah, check them out. There it is. Just takes a minute. I'm not sure. They were last playing error reading Twitch's API servers. What? So was Mandy. Well, you guys are both playing the same thing. That's odd. I can pretty much tell you that Mandy was playing D&D, Dungeons and Dragons, on Fantasy Grounds. Um, but hey, you're not allowed to say that on my stream, okay? I don't want to get banned or lose all of my monetization. Twitch is awesome and amazing, never has problems. You can ditch, you can badmouth Twitch on your own stream. uh, Zinlu was doing a bunch of Call of Duty. That's right. Sparkles does mess around with Call of Duty quite a bit. Uh, Zinlu has been doing a lot of Satisfactory lately, so check him out. I'm not sure what he was doing last, but always fun. And if you ever want to subscribe to him, he's got a lot of really cool dog emotes. So if you like the animals, Zenu is definitely one to follow to get the just for the emotes. So today we're doing some prepping for our Out of the Abyss. So Out of the Abyss, if you're not familiar with it, is one of the old school 5e, one of the first couple that happened. And the concept is grabbing a book. Concept is the group is captured by dark elves and brought down below to the Underdark, and that's where they're imprisoned, and that's typically where the campaign starts. I personally like to have them on the surface doing stuff, and then within the first, after a fight or two, they just get overwhelmed by these drow. I typically try to my best to make sure they don't know what adventure they're playing, so it's a surprise, and they also don't build special characters just that live and work best underground. It's just they would make a Acme characters, and then who happen to get transported down and captured. So it's a little bit more realistic, a little bit more fun, in my opinion. Then they escape from this prison, and they're running around the Underdark. The problem is the Underdark only has 2 or 3 exits to back to the surface. So, and it is a series of caverns, to put it mildly. So they really don't know where they are, even going from point A to point B. If they're just traveling in a straight line, it might be a mile, but it may take them all day to get there just because they're going down this one cavern and this one passageway that ends. They have to turn around and come back. There's a cave-ins all the time. There's other stuff going on. Of course, there's lots of creatures and monsters and stuff. And then the overarching storyline to Out of the Abyss, as you might be able to tell from the cover, are demon lords are appearing and are trying to take over the underworld. And so, and by extension, once they take over the underworld, then be able to take over the surface. So the party ends up in a perfect world, defeating and battling these demon and fouling their plans so that the demons can't come and take over the world. Having said all that, where we are now is they have escaped. My group has escaped. They are running around. The group I'm doing is Mandy knows them, Drake and Matakure and all them stuff. Quite a lot going on for our intrepid heroes. That's right. That's all I can do to get to my motherboard back from repair. Man, that's so frustrating. I am so blessed to have a computer that's been working without major issues for quite a while. So when it doesn't, I'm very ignorant when it comes to this type of technology. So I just have to sort of rely on the goodness of other people to either help me fix it, or I have to take it somewhere and hope they don't hose me out of all my money, because I can't afford new ones, But I hear you. I hope that your motherboard does get back from repair soon, so you can get back on into the action. If nothing else, just relaxing and having fun playing games. That's the purpose of my computer. My work computer for my work. My personal computer, just relax and have fun. Um, so I say all that to say my characters don't even know what day it is because they don't know how long they were drugged and how long they traveled. They're underground, so they haven't seen light. They haven't seen the sun. They've just been traveling through darkness until they get tired, set up a camp, sleep, wake up, and do it all again the next day. And that was after having been prisoned for, again, an unknown amount of time because my prison guards knock them out, either with spells or with drugs, or both, so that they won't escape. And so they would be woken up, be forced to work and do some stuff to keep their muscles from atrophying while they're waiting to be sold as slaves. And then, so they don't even know how long they were captive for. Grim Graxis is now following. Welcome, welcome. Hey, Grim, I have a new command. You type exclamation point class or exclamation point mood and check it out. Grim is, I know he helps out Mandy a lot when on her stream. Does a lot of the shout outs and stuff. So appreciate you stopping by, saying hello. Appreciate very much the follow. That is awesome. Grim is a 6% neutral evil warlock. So we've got 2 barbarians and a warlock, all of them leaning toward the evil side. So it's looking to be a pretty decent. It looks like it's coming up to be a pretty decent party. 2 barbarians and a warlock. Not bad. Not bad. So the point is, like I said, I use the calendar, but everything is under GM notes. If you're not familiar with the calendar on Fantasy Grounds, it is something I use a lot. I usually use it to help my players as well because they can access, your players can access it. But right now, the only one they can access is the 20th of Kythorn, which is when we first started. So I have player notes, they can look at them, and then that's it. I also have birthdays. I have people roll up their birthdays so when they know when their birthdays come up. But for this campaign, I'm using the GM notes to keep track of when they're doing things, when they go to rest. Like I said, they will travel till they get tired, collapse, sleep till they wake up, and then keep going. So it's they don't know what day or what time it is, depending on how many fights they have and what's going on. Sometimes they'll only go for 12 hours and then rest. Sometimes they'll go for 20 hours and then rest. So pretty fun. I like how it works, and players don't have a choice. So how am I doing today, sir? I'm doing fairly well, thank you for asking. It's been a while since I've done one of these types of streams. I've been doing a lot of live play D&D and Starfinder, but I have a game tomorrow night. I need to do a little bit of prep for fine-tuning and tweaking, so I figured I might as well expose some people to the Fantasy Grounds world. If you guys have questions about how to do specific things, let me know. I'm not an expert, but I'm pretty darn good. I know what I'm doing to some extent. Whether that comes through when we're playing, I like to think it does, but you can also check out my stuff on the U's and the Tubes to see if I'm blowing smoke or not. Atomic Hero Squad, welcome, welcome. I have a new command, so if you want to type mood, exclamation point mood, you can see how you're feeling today. or class, CLASS. It's the same thing. It does the same thing. So, how do you get to the calendar? So the calendar, Atomic Hero Squad has a 49% neutral evil bombard soldier today. So that's actually a Starfinder class. Awesome. And he's the first good guy, barely by 1%. Everybody else today has been evil. We've had 2 evil barbarians and an evil warlock. So we now have a bombard soldier who's neutral good by 1%. Not bad. So the calendar's up here in the top right where your tools are next to your combat tracker and all that. Your DM has to set it up. But when you click on it, it'll open up the calendar. As a player, you'll see the red dots. And as the DM, you can double click on a date and it'll open up the date, and you can type in player notes or GM notes. Right now, although there's been a lot of whining about it, only the GM can place notes. But I have had time to where I've had players will type up things and say, hey, stick this in the note for today, would you? So I'll throw it on the calendar for them. But the cool thing is, like for my other campaigns that I maintain it for Starfinder and for my D&D campaigns, is the players can open this up anytime, and I have a little note for each day and each time major things happen, so they can see from the beginning of the campaign what's happened each day. And so, honestly, don't know how often they use it, but it's something that I do as a DM, so they can keep track. And as far as a GM, if you're looking to set it up, you just go to, I want to say modules. Yeah, right there. So Fantasy Grounds comes with calendars already, and you have they have the Julian calendar. It's under modules. It's free. They have Julian calendars, Starfinder calendars. This one is the calendar of starts with a K. One of the deities. Let me see. I have images for that for my campaign, so they can see Callan. Helps if you spell it correctly. Just a little pro tip. Harptos. The calendar of Harptos is what this is. So there's Harptos. There you go, Mandy. A little eye candy for you. This is what the calendar is. And this is the other version of it. So you can see it starts with the winter solstice, and then you have each one, you have midwinter. And so when you look at it from this vantage, you have Hammer, midwinter, just one day. Altarok, Chest, Tarshek, Greengrass is one day. So this is what it shows you. Spring Equinox and Greengrass is here. So this is a calendar I'm using. I use for most of my fantasy settings. It's the Faerun calendar. Calendar of Harptos. But like I said, they have several different options. You can also just make your own. They have one that's blank, so you just put in the months if you want. So I love the calendar. In this one, it's much more utilitarian, or no, that's not the right word. It's more of a tool than it is the way what I usually use it for in this campaign. Like I said, because for me, it helps keep me on track. I know exactly what's going on, how long it is, and on the calendar itself, by the way, the other cool aspect of it is right here. There are output date to chat. So you click that, boom, tells you the date. Click this side, it says output time to chat, so it tells you the time and the date. And then if you want to change it, when you put the cursor over it, it says use the control key plus the mouse scroll wheel. So as time, they take a long rest, just hold control 1 and move it up 8 hours. It jumps right to the next day. If as things are going on with in the party and they're looking for stuff, spending time in the dungeon, you can pass the time, and it helps me maintain because I rarely found a way besides the calendar to keep track of time in a good way. There are some dungeons masters. Boy, I'm having a hard time Englishing today. There are some dungeon masters and storytellers who do a good job, but most of the time it's just flying by the seat of your pants. Uh, what time is it? Oh, I don't know. It's this long. How long did it take to get there? I don't know. 3 hours. So this way with a calendar, you can maintain it. You can keep track and know exactly. Okay, it took this long. Stuff like that. Starfinder is also that way too, because flying with the spaceships can take days to go from point A to point B, and so there's using the calendar, you can keep track of when it is and what's happening. So anyway, that's what the calendar does. You can also pull up view journal entry and see the day, particular day that you have highlighted. And you can also go here to all journals and see the date by date, all the journals. So it's a pretty dynamic tool that is rarely used. There we go. So having said all that, the reason I bring it up is I look at my calendar and I ran this for another group prior. So I've got all the GM notes in the calendar already for what I have planned and what happened to this first group. And I'm sort of running this second group pretty much in the same timeline, making it so it's a little easier, a little less prep work for me. So the next thing that's supposed to happen is they find an abandoned tomb, and this is where they find Dawnbringer. So I'm going to find that in the story module. Find that in it. So I'll go to books, to Out of the Abyss. I'm still not used to this new reference manual stuff. I prefer the story entries only because I'm old school. And so I've done some conversions for Fantasy Grounds myself. And that's how I did everything. I'm used to using the story entries. So it's hard for me to adjust to this new version, a new way of doing things. But I'm doing my best to get used to this new way of doing it. Why is my phone being weird? Okay. So Into the Darkness is where we want to go. We want to go to set encounters. The Lost Tomb of Cain. So they've already done the Oozing Temple. There's the Hook Horror Hunt. You just have to make sure you're enunciating well when you say Hook Horror Hunt, because it can get dangerous pretty quick. I want to look at the map to see, remind myself if they've done this. I don't think they. Yes, they did. Okay. And then the other one is the Lost Tomb of Cain, where they find, see a soft feminine voice sounds out in your mind. Hello? Someone there? Please, I need your help. I've been trapped in the dark for so long. Please, won't you help free me? So that's how we left the last session, is with the dogkin Henry hearing that voice. So I'm going to take this and I'm going to drag it from the drag record link, drop it down into the hotkey so I have access to that. I also put my calendar day so I know what's going on here. So they started the rest on the 7th of Flame Rule, so now they're on the 8th of Flame Rule. I need to update that actually. So you can clear it out by right clicking, clear slot, or you can just drag the new record link that you want to put into your hotkey down here, boom, and it's replaced. Those of you who aren't familiar with hotkeys, they are amazing. You have 12 to start with. If you hold down Shift, you have 12 more. You have hold down Control, 12 more, Alt, 12 more, and then combinations thereof. So Control Shift is 12 more, Control Alt, 12 more, Alt Shift, 12 more. And then, if that's not enough, Control Alt Shift is another 12 more. So you have a bunch of hotkeys, and as you can see as I was flipping through them, I use a lot of them as a DM. I have a lot of stuff in here that I use. And real quick, if you wanted to see my party, I use a okay. Where is it? It's on the message. I know it's in the message of the day. So I have a group photo of my party. There we go. I try to do this for all my campaigns, especially the ones I stream. This is to scale, so there's a tiny little kobold. He's like 2 feet, nothing, all the way up to our Ludbolg, which is a version we made for the Furbolgs, but it's the Underdark version, like the Drow are the Underdark version of the elves. We have our human barbarian. So Penry is the dog guy. He heard the voice calling out. So basically, all I'm doing today is this. We're going to be doing this little. I need to update the message of the day. I also do a thing called Last Time in the Sven Zone with this campaign, where I tell them, I read this paragraph, and there are some certain things wrong with it. So they have to find the number of mistakes. Each person gets one guess. They do a roll. So if you look here at the message of the day when they log in, I have them roll a percentile and get ready for last time in the Sven Zone. So I go in numerical order by the lowest to highest. They each get one guess. And then in this case, they get visual inspiration if they find a mistake. Sometimes they get a bonus to attack, or sometimes they get a free re-roll that they can use for the enemies. Lots of different things I give them if they find a mistake. And then if 3 of them can't find mistakes, I have 5 players. So if 3 out of the 5 if only 2 can find a mistake and not that and no more, then my NPCs get a bonus. I make them pretty easy, and so honestly, my NPCs have never gotten a bonus, but the threat is real. The threat is there just in case. So I'm going to go ahead and go back to my message today, finish updating that. If this is talking about the demon, they've already met one of the demon princes. As it rose up, it grabbed one of the players, and one head bit his torso, the other head bit the bottom of him and tore him in half. Don't worry, I had talked to the player prior to, so they were aware it was going to happen. And no, he did not get better. But that happened. Demogorgon rose up. And I have that in my message today, so they can look at it anytime they want because it's a cool picture. Alright, so they finish a long rest, are attacked by spiders led by a were-spider. What's his name? Penry. The funny thing is, my quiz that I give them are usually answered if they just read the message of the day. If they read the message of the day, they can usually find a mistake from in my message. What happened on this video? Okay, so we found our tomb. Let's take a look at the map. Alright, so this is the map that came with it. Gotta check line of sight. Alright, so this time they actually did it correctly. A lot of times they'll put the line of sight along this front line. So the players don't even see the wall. They just see it, just the room ends. And it's very frustrating. So I'm glad they did it this way. You can now see the wall, which is the way it should be. Okie doke. So here's this level 1, 2, 3. And let's take a look and see how they get into this room. I know they drop into the 3rd floor, which makes this fight interesting because they open up this trap door down below, and then there's just critters, undead critters in there. So as soon as somebody drops, they get attacked. And so it's a challenge trying to get everybody to fit into this tiny little room. That's only 20 by 30, so it's fun. And half of it's taken up by a crypt, a sarcophagus. Alright, shocking backdrop bud. Cheap followers. I already have cheap followers. I don't need any more, but thank you. Now, if it said generous followers, might be different. I might be tempted. Alright, so looking at the entrance room, it says stone diorama stands to the right of the entrance. A narrow side passage takes them to a dirty marble wall with a deep set door made of bronze, encased stone, green with age. Okay, so this map does not have a path leading up to the door, so we need to make a path leading up to the door. So we'll do that real quick. Open up our assets. I don't know if there's cobblestone or not. Let's see. It helps if you spell it correctly. GM tip. Using fancy grounds and you're looking for something, there is cobblestone. And a cobblestone path. Perfect. So we go here to the map. Let's go to the map. We're going to go to our paint layers. We're going to add a paint layer. We're going to click on this and call it path to door. Make sure it's highlighted. We have our stroke. The size of it is 13 by 20. We want the width to be 2. So we change it to 2, hit enter, boom, and now we've got, that is nowhere close to 2 wide. So I'm gonna make it, it's more like 1. So we're gonna make it 3 and see if that's closer to what we need. Yeah, that's a little closer. Okay. Now we could put the fill, have this pathway be the fill, and then have the outside be something different. But in this particular case, the cobblestone drawing is actually wider than it looks. So if you look over here, you can see there's slight little lines on either side. That's why it says it's 3, even though the drawing is only 2 wide. So, anyhoozle, the point is, we're just going to leave it like this. I'll add the cavern walls to it here in just a moment. So we take it, we go just outside the door, and we draw it, just going a little crooked. We just need it long enough to have them have a place to walk up to. So there we go, there's our cobblestone. Now we just need our, let's say, cavern wall. Okay, let's go to cavern underscore wall. All right, we're gonna have to go with cavern. So I know there's a lot of cavern, so I'm trying to narrow it down a little bit. As we wait. Anticipation. All right, Dubby, awesome, awesome drink. It is tasty, the best tasting energy drink I've ever had. There's only been one flavor, and it was called a mystery flavor that I still liked it. It was okay. Every other one I've had has been really good. And so definitely check them out. Use my code, get 10% off. If you are frugal, it's about just under $1. per 20 ounce drink. And if you're frugal like me, you can wait until they do a buy one get one, and so it ends up being less than 50 cents a piece. So it's also a good deal. Tasty. Okay. They also have hydros too, so it's like they have the Gatorade type esque stuff where it's electrolytes and stuff to replenish, and then they also have the energy, which is all natural, good stuff for you. It's good for you as well. None of these weird chemicals. So check them out. Good stuff. All right, we're still looking for a cavern. I guess it's not cavern I'm looking for. I guess it's cave. So let's try cave wall. There we go. That's what I was looking for. So I've always liked these kind. They're pretty nice. Pretty nice. We'll drop this puppy in here. Bloop. All right now it's 4 wide. We don't need it 4 wide. Let's go 1.5. 1.5 minutes to 2.5 minutes. Sort of a wide range. All right. So it is, if you look at the drawing, it is, excuse me, just over 1 wide, about 1.5. So we're gonna go this right here should be right. And we did it upside down, so let's see if we can flip it. We have a couple choices here. Actually, no, I didn't do it as a separate layer, so now, actually I did by mistake. So cool. I'm gonna go to the layers page. Actually, let's just see if we haven't really flip it. Layer, painting layer, flip it. Flip. Flip. There we go. That's what I wanted, was this one. Now we flip it this way. Nope. All right, so we delete it. Hit delete. Well, now we're going to do it the right way. Add a painting layer. Go back to our paint. We've got our thing still in there. So we're going to start from this side to do it correctly. And we're just roughly following the cobblestone. Doesn't have to be perfect, because we're going to be using line of sight anyway. And now we're going to go the other way for the bottom. Boom. We check to see, some of them come with line of sight. So let's check it out and see. These do not, so that's perfect. We will go here to line. Wall is already selected. We're going to go with our painting layer up here. You could add it to the Lost Stone map layer as well. Doesn't really matter which one you add the wall to. I'm going to go. Come on, mouse. Behave. Click. Wall, yes. Oh, it's locked. Unlock it. So those little white squares are called occluders. Typically, you don't have to really worry about it. But the more occluders you have, the more information it requires. So if you have circles and stuff or caverns that are really windy and bendy, you can do stuff like duplicate paint layer as a wall, and it will add tons of them. If it's a curve, it'll add a ton of these occluders, so you can simplify it. If you look at some of my other prepping videos, I've messed with that before, just to simplify the occluders. All right, so now the last thing I want to do is I'm just going to add some. So I've got the texture, the cobblestones. Now we'll take a look, see how it looks. So we'll go to our combat tracker, and we'll grab a token. We will, escape, go to play mode, go to enable, disable vision, player vision mode. Click on him. Okay, he doesn't have a light source on him. So go to effects, go to spell light. So now this is what the players will see as they move around in this passageway going up to the door. Open the door, boom, now they see inside. Wow. Wow. So let's go ahead and tweak this just a tiny bit. Go to paint. Layer. There we go. Path to the door. What I'm going to do, the easiest thing, instead of trying to mess with this, I'm just going to add a door. It's a special door anyway. So we're going to find a door. Here's a car door. That would throw them off. Nice little artwork for a door. I like it. I like it. Might go with like one of these, one of this. Nice thick door, I like that. I'm going to go ahead and drop that into the tile. I'm going to drop this guy in here, oof, and keep looking to see if there's something better. So you can tell they have a lot of doors and fancy grounds to choose from. I have the art pack. Yeah, I like the decorative doorway. I like the dwarven door. I'm going to go with this decorative doorway. Drop him in there instead. Okay, the height is only 2, so all right, what happened here? Let's go to 0.5 maybe. All right, I broke it. I broke it, folks. I broke it. Let's see. Let's make it smaller by using the control. There we go. There we go. See, we add the door like that. Bam. Click. Boom. We got our door. And we make sure it is on top. Back to our play mode. Grab our doppelganger and throw him out here. Shut the door. There we go. Close enough. Let's take this doorway decoration and make it a tiny bit bigger. Just hold down the control key and use a mouse wheel. Okay, maybe not. Let's go hold down shift so it maintains the aspect ratio. And then we hold down shift and control so we can shrink it a little bit. And we're going to move it, holding control, slide it back to there. Boom. All right, so now they come up. You see this big old door. Doorway opens. There you go. We're good. I like them being able to see the rocks in the passageway and stuff, so that's how I leave it. Again, this is just the entryway. They're not going to be spending any time in here. Did I have to do that? No, I could have just slapped them outside and just drawn a square, a rectangle for a line of sight so they can't see the rest of the map. But I like them to see what they're doing. Make the immersion a little bit. So here we go. Room 2. And then we go to the servant sarcophagi. And here we have some specters. So this is what I was looking for. Okay, they do have tokens. They have been placed. This is a CR4 encounter. They're going to breeze right through it. But that's fine. I don't really mind. Let's see how many other encounters there are in this. This is a terrible picture, isn't it? Oh no, oh, I made this picture. That's right. Never mind. Okay. I didn't make it, but I found it and imported it. And Brissus of Kame is a CR5. It is a single thing. All right, I want to find so we'll close this. We're done with our assets for a while. One of my NPCs under campaign. I want to find some undead that are little wussy guys and just throw a couple extra things in there. Anytime there's only one thing, they just waltz right through it. It's a pretty easy encounter. So let's go with type. Undead. CR, let's try 1/8. Ghostly Claw. What is that? Okay, I know what a crawling claw is. I didn't know that. Oh, ghastly claw. I was reading. I thought it said ghostly. Okay, I know what a ghastly claw is. That's fine. Don't want that one. Let's try 1/4 then. Nice. Okay, these are all corporeal. So I want something that's incorporeal. I'm not familiar with what Lacedon is. Medium undead. Amphibious humanoids like merfolk or Sahagin. Rise as ghoul-like undead. Alright, that's cool. I see you. Shadow. There we go. Shadow is incorporeal. What is a soul shard? Let's see. Ethereal undead are utterly loyal to the Vidre that brought them, formed them into existence. Soul Shard emits light as a daylight spell. Holy shnikes, that's bright. Charisma Drain, Repossession. Okay, so this is like an astral projection of a live person, so I don't care about that. All right, so it looks like we're stuck with shadows. All right, so open up this encounter. I'm going to add shadow to it. Just drag the record link into, actually, we got to unlock it first. Drag the record link over here. Loop. All right, and the shadow has 16 hit points. All right, I think I'm just gonna have one. That's fine. And we do a refresh. Add a little bit more XP to it, so they'll be happy. And we'll throw the shadow over here. So when you drag this one where it says placement, when you add it to the combat tracker right here, it'll automatically put that token there. Specters are fine. This one will be an easier combat for them, with this one being the harder combat. All right, and last thing I wanted to do is the weapon, the treasure they find is a sword. Nobody uses a sword. Thin gold sheath. Ah, to decoration, okay. So I'm going to have Dawnbringer be, instead of being a long sword, I'm going to have it be something different. So taking a look at the characters. It makes sense to give it to our barbarian. Right now, the barbarian is the only one who has, not a barbarian, he's a fighter. He just looks like a barbarian, so I keep thinking he's a barbarian. It makes sense to give it to him. I'm thinking I might give it to the druid, because the druid doesn't actually shape change. He's a druid of the spore. So well, let's see. All right. Yeah, they changed something in. They got rid of the rest things, and it's very annoying. I don't know how to do it now. So like this wand of randomness has, he should be able to do it. What? It doesn't have any text? Kind of bull crap. Alright, here's. So is this a wand of randomness is a magic item I made? Black stone wands embedded with specks of colored glass. Looking at the tip by pointing at your eye, a symbol indicating Timora, the goddess of luck, is visible at that angle. Looks like there was a mistake. There we go. Pointing at the target and loudly exclaiming, "Blast it!" causes the glass shards to flash brightly in a roiling mass of flashing light to shoot toward the target. Swan never misses a target within 75 feet. Its damage. What did I do? Its damage. The 1d20, and that amount cannot be altered. For example, a feat or ability that would not make it a 1d20 plus 1. Its damage is considered silvered, adamantine. Again, it's spelled wrong. Holy shnikes, what is wrong? Adamantine, magic, and psychic. It can make the attack twice before it needs to recharge at midnight. Alright, so the point of all that was, besides being able to get rid of all this crap. Okay, now copy it. I always like to have what it is on their actions page so they don't have to do what I just did and go back to their inventory to find out what it does. Back to the actions, and so this should be 2. And when you go to combat, there we go. So now it has 2 marks. Perfect. And we close this. So now when you open it, lock it. There you go. Boom. It shows you what it does. Okay, anyway, so I was just looking at what he had before I got distracted. Alright, we're just gonna do it. We're gonna give it to the barbarian. I mean the fighter, Goliath fighter. And so he uses a great axe. So we're going to make this a great axe. All right, so let me copy this for just for a moment here. I'm trying to find out a name for this thing, and then I want to draw a picture of it. Because this is not going to be Dawnbringer. Alright, so it appears to be a gilded staff. While grasping the hilt, grasping the staff, use a bonus action to make blade, a pure radiant spring. From the top edge, or cause the blade to disappear. So I'm going to paste this back in here. Shift, shift, shift. Control V. This is a weapon. Great Axe. And alright, this magic Great Axe does not have a finesse property. Let's take a look at the Great Axe. Take a look at the Great Axe, shall we? The martial weapon, alright? While this blade exists, if you are proficient with martial weapons, you are proficient. +2 to attack. Radiant damage. Takes an extra 1d8. Emits bright light. The light is sunlight while the blade persists. I'm not going to have him do that. It's just a flat 15-foot radius. Whether he likes it or not. Too bad. While holding the weapon, you can use an action to touch a creature. Cast Restoration. Nice. Once a day. Speak, read, and understand common. And it communicates telepathically. All right. So I'm gonna have to switch it out for every time it says Dawnbringer because we're gonna switch it to something else. This looks like a not a long sword. It looks like a walking staff, a thick walking staff. Fancy. Thick walking staff. Alright, so we have Gilded Eclipse. I like that. Or the Undersun. Hidden sun beneath the earth, long forgotten. Alright, let me check and see what this message says. Alright, a message from my son. I don't talk to him very often, so appreciate your patience. Give me just one more second. Alright, I think Gilded Eclipse or the Undersun. Soul Cleaver is okay. SOL for Soul Cleaver. Yeah, let's go with Soul Cleaver. I like that. We're going to call it Soul Cleaver. Soul Cleaver. Okay, and then all right, let's see. So now we need to go back through, change it. Damage is not 1d8, it is 1d12. This is a great axe. It does not have finesse, nor is it versatile. It is heavy. Two-handed. And because it's him, it has reroll 2. If he doesn't take it, then we'll need to fix it. But reroll 2 means that if he rolls a 1 or a 2 for damage, then you re-roll it once. You are proficient with Soul Cleaver. Let's make it I'm just going to get rid of this section because we don't need it. All right. Let's do an attack. Instead of slashing damage, okay. What does it say up here? Radiant, yep, and magic, okay. The axes. It's not a sword. All right, so Soulbringer, Soul Cleaver. X. Can speak, read, and write. Forged by ancient sun worshippers. Soul Cleaver. All right, so we're good. We've got everything we need here except for the art for it. Okay, why is this down here? Rarity should be here, legendary, so it should be here. Control X, this is in the wrong spot, should be up here. Alright, what is the weight? Weight is the axe. I'm going to say it can be 4. The weight of it is 4. All right, so let's is called Soul Cleaver. There you go. There's the weapon, the image I'm going to use. Soul Cleaver. Control X. All right, so I have the image. Oops, hold on. And so what I do is I click it, take it over here to Fancy Grounds. So what I just do is I Control X. Dadgummit. There we go. And then go open Fancy Grounds. This is something. Do I want to keep this image so you can put it in all your Fancy Grounds images for use across all Fancy Grounds, or you can put it in a particular campaign? I think I'm going to keep this in all my images. So this is my base Fancy Grounds images. Just click and then Control V to slap it there. Boom, Soul Cleaver. Go here to your assets. Refresh. Type in the beginning of it. There it is, Soul Cleaver. Click it to make a map record. Close it, we don't need it. Boom, there it is. You can zoom in. See some of the filigree, pretty decent. And then all I need to do is go here go to. I'm going to put it in both places. I'm used to having a link, so I'm just going to stick the link there. But then I'm also going to put it in pictures here. Boom, picture. Boom. And lock it. Boom, there we go. So there we have our Soul Cleaver. And then we will close this. We will make sure it is in the treasure. It is Soul Cleaver. Okay, perfect. And then what I'm going to do is I'm going to have it show up as a blade first. Pardon me. I mean, show up as like a walking stick staff that's sticking in there. Close that. We don't need that anymore. All right. And then I'm going to open this back up. Boom. So I could use Photoshop and just remove the axe head, but as it happens, I have that right there. Bam. So we will do the same thing we just did. Rename it to Soul Cleaver Hilt. And then go up here to my fancy grounds, images, assets, refresh. Create map record. Change this to more of a rod or a short staff. And we're going to make it unidentified. Like it. Alright, so now when I open it, this is what they'll see. And then when he talks to it, it will then do this. Whoosh. All right, and I think we're good for now. I think we're done with the prep we need. We've got everything we wanted for this little mini adventure they've got going on. So I will go ahead and call it a day. Let's end with a quote as well. Whoops. Helps if you spell it right. A hemogoblin goblin practices blood magic. All right, so let's find out how I'm doing today. What's my aura like? It is a 13% chaotic good mind breaker mystic. Boy, so we've got a evil group for the most part, with one person who is 51% good. Everybody else is evil. 2 barbarians, a mind breaker mystic, and a warlock. So interesting, very interesting. And a bombard soldier. That's right. I forgot about him. The bombard soldier. Bombard soldier is grenade expert, by the way. There we go. All right. Well, thanks for hanging out, guys. I appreciate you stopping by. Um, Grim Grixis, Zinlu, Mandy of the Sparkle variety, Atomic Hero Squad. Thank you guys so much. I appreciate all of you coming by, saying hello. Don't forget to like, subscribe, and whatever else you do, enjoy the rest of your day. And one last thing, if you wanted to see how this plays out, how they find it, all that stuff, go to Drake Takes tomorrow. We're going to be streaming this on his channel. So I'll be the DM streaming this. So talk to you later. Bye.